are, folks. It really is. So thanks to News Junkie for bringing that to everyone's attention and having the forum that a lot of people can go to, because there's so many people on the Facebook feed on News Junkie, so that's, it helps. I'm sure there's other places. I've been to personal Facebook accounts responding basically how I responded here. It doesn't get us anywhere. I love how they said, thanks to all those who helped contribute. You guys are all responsible for this mess. Thank you. Just think in a couple of months we'll all be going on vacation and painting homes on our double income. Thank God. Jeez, so glad I became a school teacher. 755-1240. Okay, so the big news is Jim Levin. I won't get into why he's doing this, because it really doesn't matter. I'm expecting Jim to walk in here any moment now, although I think he's got a hot date or something. He's looking for something outside from our traffic manager. It takes a lot of time to get. So Jim's still in the building. But I do know this, and this is for public information, that WATN is changing some of its programming. And this has nothing to do with ratings, has nothing to do with complaints, nothing to do with, he said, she said. And it's not that at all. It's this Jim just saying, we got to make changes. So let's go through the gambit here. Let's go through the main one, all right? So what still remains in the morning from 6A to 9A, from Salem Broadcasting, Hugh Hewitt will remain on board. Hugh Hewitt, of course, looks like Stephen King without being cross-eyed. So that's Hugh Hewitt from 6A to 9A. I like Hugh Hewitt. So again, after Hugh Hewitt, this is where it gets interesting. You've heard of Chris Plant before. He's very funny. He plays segments from Animal House quite often. He was born and raised from a liberal family down, I believe, in the Washington, D.C. area. And he used to be himself a liberal, but he woke up one day and said, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to have my own radio show. He's also on Newsmax. Well, if you listen to Chris Plant today, right up until he left, he signed off today at noon, well, unfortunately, you're not going to hear him again on AM 1240. Instead, it's going to be replaced by Brian Kilmeade, who is on our station already, but up until today, Brian Kilmeade's show was only from 1 till 3. It was on tape delay. And quite frankly, I'm glad he's at where he should be. In other words, when he leaves Fox and Friends, he runs over to the studio, which probably is a block away, and then he's on the radio from noon to noon. Check that, 9 to noon for 3 hours. We, like I said, have been tape delaying him until the afternoon, and it's stale bread. The news cycle today isn't what it was years ago. Something like 2-3 hours behind itself is already old. A good example of that, just this past week, was Mitch McConnell announced that he wasn't going to seek re-election. Therefore, he's not going to be the minority leader of the Republican Party in the Senate. Well, he announced that towards the last hour of Brian Kilmeade's show in the 11 o'clock morning hour. So as a result, we didn't get that until Brian Kilmeade talked about it around 3 o'clock. See where that is? Brian Kilmeade, I think, is very good. He's a hardworking guy. And he is going to be on live for 3 hours as opposed to 2 hours. And as a footnote, Brian Kilmeade will be on the Hotline show on a live interview with Mayor Graham soon. That date has yet to be determined. And that Jim is trying to swing something my way for the 5 o'clock show. Apparently, Brian Kilmeade is more available at noon as opposed to the 5 o'clock hour. Maybe he goes home and showers because he practically lives there on 6th Avenue. All right, so then from there, we continue to have, of course, the hotline with Jeff Graham. We knew that, so don't worry about that. But here's the other new addition. Since Brian Kilmeade is moving from the afternoon to the morning, we have to fill in that afternoon slot. It's from 1 to 3. So that's a 2-hour show, normally 3-hour show. And ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, I don't know anything about this Irishman, but we have a person by the name of Greg Kelly that will be signing on for the first time. I don't know if he'll mention us. And if he does, he probably, his producers will probably tell him to do it in the first hour of any given show next week, and nobody will hear that because we're only going to get his second and third hour. I don't know how Ken's going to set that up, if it's going to be his first and second hour. I don't know. It's kind of weird because we're one of the only stations on the planet that actually has local programming on an all-talk radio station, particularly of this size market. So then we continue to have the Sean Hannity show from 3 to 5. And yes, I'm happy to announce that Glenn Curry Live at 5 show with Glenn Curry remains at 5 o'clock hour. And then after that, the Hannity, of course, that 1 hour that we missed, we still commit to that. And then Monday through Friday from 7 p. Now, this is more bad news. If you're a Mark Levin fan, am I getting that right? Is it Mark Levin? Yeah, Mark Levin is no longer a part of the WATN schedule. Instead, we're going to bring in a new Kelly, and this is a Jesse Kelly. I don't know if this is a man or a woman, but nonetheless, Mark Levin out, O-U-T, out, and Jesse Kelly takes his place. Rita Crosby from 10 p. to midnight. Okay, so Greg Kelly is Duff is calling me or texting me from Florida. Greg Kelly is on News Junkie. I checked that Newsmax. Everything's on News Junkie. Newsmax. I wonder if Newsmax stole the Z. Is Newsmax spelled with a Z? I think it is. So there you have it. I mean, I can go into the other programs and so forth. We got the Car Doctor on the weekends, Pillow Talk with Kevin Fear, and then we have a show here called Church. That's interesting. So there you have it. Big news, and it's effective this Monday, March 4th. Today is the 1st, so it's March 4th. All right, so there you have it. Anybody have any questions? If you were Chris Plant's been playing here for, I don't know, maybe at least 10 years. I could be wrong. Brian Kilmeade is somewhat new. I forget what was in there before, after Jeff. I don't remember. But so we don't lose Brian. We actually gain another hour, but he's on at the live 3-hour segments. And then he's replaced by the Newsmax guy. And then a Jesse Kelly comes in and takes over for what was Mark Levin's time slot. So there you have it in a nutshell. All right, so